what's the toughest road stadium you ever had to play in? And then the follow-up to that, which really kind of isn't, but it kind of is, a lot of people are looking for what would be your advice to homeschool kids who want to pursue sports on a higher level. Any words of advice that you would give them?
Well, I would say the first question, I hate to give any of our rivals props, but I would probably say Death Valley at LSU was probably the hardest, just because they're absolutely crazy. I mean, going into that place, they literally push and shake your bus as you're going through, and then my sophomore year, we were heading to play there. I got over 10,000 threats leading up to that game. My parents would have security. When we get off the bus and walk in, they poured beer all over us. So Death Valley, they try to intimidate you. I kind of love that though. And advice to young athletes. There'd be so many things that I would love to share with them, but for the sake of time, there would probably only be a few. And I would say I really do believe that homeschooling does give you an awesome advantage to pursue the sport that is your dream, or sports that are your dream. We worked really hard in school and academics, but there were times when it didn't come number one. I mean, it was actually never number one, because it was always, God's word and then character, but even there were times, like when I was in high school, when we had a Friday night game, my parents would let me sleep in till I woke up, whether it was 10 or 11, so I get my sleep before a Friday night game. No one else got to do that because they had to wake up at 7 and go to school, And they would just say, all right, we're going to make that up and you're going to study at a different time. And it was also awesome because of the way that we got to adapt it for mission trips and training. And I got to travel with my dad as I was getting recruited in high school. And we got to go to literally every school in the SEC, in Clemson and Miami and FSU and all the schools around the country to look at them and evaluate them, figure out what's the right program. And I couldn't have done that if I had necessarily the same schedule that some of the other kids had. And we got the opportunity to, I shouldn't call it opportunity, but I got to go study Latin and different other classes and mission trips and so many different things that we got to adapt and change. And that was because of certain beliefs that we had that we wanted to pursue. And I'm so grateful for that. And especially as a young boy who played baseball, basketball, and football and loved those, I would literally go from, in the summer, I would be in AAU basketball, AAU football, or AAU baseball. I would be training for football, and I would go on a mission trip every summer. So I would be balancing all of those. And it was just, homeschooling was such a blessing for all of us for me, when I say all of us, me and all my siblings, to be able to balance all of those things. And I think it gives you the freedom to pursue what's on your heart. And so I'd encourage you that with those chances, don't waste it. Really take advantage of it when you have those opportunities and make the most of it. Because you're not just a steward of your tithing or your resources, but you're a steward of every opportunity that God gives you. Every opportunity. That's with your nutrition, that's with your sleeping, that's with your studying, that's with everything. And so I would just encourage you with that opportunity that you get. You'll never get it again, so try to be a great steward of that.
Thank you. So Tim, I just want to say from all of us, the fact that you moved heaven and earth to be here when you got the curveball thrown at you.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see? And it just came out too. It wasn't even premeditated. So when you got those games thrown in, the fact that you were willing to fly out here, disrupt your schedule, the sacrifice is not lost on any of us. So we are really, really grateful that you continued, that you showed up, that you poured so much out to minister to everyone tonight. So let's thank Tim appropriately.